be helped. First aid!
Blow away!
Shining first aid!
This one's mine!
Where are you going?
Carve through one! Rain flash! Finish it!
Demon's Descent!
Flashing bang! Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What? It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up. You had me worried there. Who said you could touch that? Damn it! He's awake! I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alph, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dahna, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dahna. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Dahnan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean... Boran was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dahna. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Dahna are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
a red woman.
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
can't stay here!
We need to go. Alfred!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am...
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal? Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity,
Yeah. There's a good...
So this thing over...
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana.
Then we're agreed.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennans or Danans.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danan. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone's...
How about you, Shion? Dohalim? You ever seen any...
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language.
I had just so much
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance.
Both sound plausible to my ears.
Yeah, they did. And the next...
And most likely anyone who's ever won it was killed. Oh, I'm too scared to say anything.
That's no ordinary.
Don't get careless.
Don't tell me.
Between blade and fist.
No, you learn.
Here's a healer.
Now I'm real mad.
First aid. Here, let me help. First aid. Here's a healing arc. First aid.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'm on a roll now.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
And bubbling to you.
The enemy wields ours too.
You'll soon see about that.
Damn it, Bennett.
Here's a healing arc. A whirling struggle. Here, let me help. Winds of heaven. First aid.
Lightning arc.
Dance in the wind. Air thrust. A whirling struggle. Winds of heaven. First aid. Here, let me help. First aid. Here's a healing arc.
I'll stop your movement.
And
I'll stop your life.
A whirling struggle. Here's a healing arc. Winds of heaven. Never first.
I'm just getting started.
Here, let me help.
Oh, what am I healing?
Look sharp.
Lightning tiger blade!
With this, I can become even stronger.
Gotta break through. This one's mine.
Time to burn!
I'm on it! Take this!
Dance by the wind! Fire thrust! Finish with a whirling predator! A wailing banshee of lightning!
Demon Fang.
Explosion! Illuminate the dark!
Too fast!
Stand-pack. I'll trip it up.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! First strike! Now
Here, let me help. First aid! Here's a healing arc! First aid! Mega red! A whirling struggle!
Demon Fang.
Winds of heaven! First force!
First strike! Watch it!
By the power of the
Not today.
I do like that, at the very least, this game has a conclusion. If that game is not, as Nexus got a Nexus thing. Something's going on in the moon, it's starting with the moon, there's a lot of corruption. They basically set it up for a part 2. Right? So you get to that thing, you basically say one planet, but really the issue is with another planet. Well, this one, they're like, hey, you set up on this planet, the issue's on the other planet, on this, or this, or this, and they commit and finish it. Where,
Here, let me help.
Scarlet Nexus is they just go, oh, we saved our planet, that's all that matters.
Mega red!
And they'll try to save their planet too, but the fact is,
Now, get toasty!
there's a lot of questions in Scarlet Nexus. Then you didn't get answered about the Lord.
There's always room for improvement.
And it's kind of like a Dan and Renan situation with the moon. There's Earth and there's the moon. And that's it. They think they...
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two?
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Uh-oh.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then.
They all
Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
He's like, yeah, you bitch.
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dovaline Ilkaris of Elda Menancia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dovaline!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find a new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among them. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader, the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like... oh, I don't know. Musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnagain's death. To see a future.
Oh, she wants his dick now.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them.
Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lent... I guess can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
Did we really just spend that much money?
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan Lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment, a lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, Zephyr taught me how to fight.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own, or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally... This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him. Especially now.
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel...
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition.
What the fuck?
Kisara? And among other things.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down.
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and...
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead,
So can I! Oh my god.
Thanks for waiting, everyone. Come on up.
Babe, I ain't your puppet. You can't just get me to do whatever you want. There ain't no strings on us, right, Bambi, Snowflake, Guinea Pig? She thinks she can control us.
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renis Alma. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What?
They teleported me. Very well.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
That's Rena. That's crazy. Trying to be dead to find it.
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
The Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes.
Okay. You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right.
It's still too early.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
Whatever.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
Okay.
Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
What the... Oh, right.
No, I'm the one who...
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute with...
Seriously, it's fine. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant.
Actually,
I guess before long. Which isn't...
So numb to your reality?
It's fine.
But... I can't even...
I appreciate... Until I get... Maybe it'll...
Yeah. Boo!
Ah! What?
How come?
It's called
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel nervous too.
Oh,
Stay.
This game's too long for its own good.
I still can't get over.
Yeah.
I've only ever... Still though.
Beats me.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies that floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here? That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renan side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renan homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after?
Try to stay calm. What is it?
No, it's just... so much for me making progress.
You made it this far. Did you notice something? You change it. That's all anyone can do. But you can't stand still in the meantime. Are you just going to keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting picked over
Put
here.
the guinea pigs back in the cage. You're sleeping. Put the guinea pigs back in the cage. You're on the bed. Oh my god. Why are they dragging this out?
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrecht 35.
Hevrecht 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that. Just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helgenquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time. but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy. And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegus was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasolma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling success. However, recreating the Renasolma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrect 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegus has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature...
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it.
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough.
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out.
Too long of a game for no reason. No real payoff. And you're like, hey, you can play a game, keep your levels. Yeah, you want to. If you were trying to do a speedrun of this bullshit. Thank God there's no stupid little bug where this is the informational part.
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Hmm? Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrecht 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Daeg Fazel with Hevrecht 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrecht 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrecht 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions. Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't, but there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language, people of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use Astro Arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries.
They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
Well, that was fucked up.
Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the Wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans and Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Heverick 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes. And yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over, before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you'd...
I could ask.
I figured
I'll go along.
Sounds good.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot. Everything we thought we...
Right.
Well...
But if Heverick...
No.
Really?
Make...
Oh, it's you. I know that we're all struggling to wrap our...
What do you...
On some level, I'm not even really sure what... But if that... As for the...
How so?
Coexistence between... In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on... So...
You kept...
You mean about the... But...
I know, and...
Even... I think it...
Well...
Yeah.
It's no...
Right. In a word...
And we all have...
That's it.
It's true. It won't be a... But I think it... And now...
No, I'm not gonna say do all that. That's the most irritating thing I've ever seen in my life.
You both seem awfully calm.
How are you holding?
Yeah. But I was... Danan's Yeah, but even... So I was thinking...
Rinwell.
That Dana's...
Now that you mention...
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dana's still our...
We won't.
Who's next? I didn't really expecting to see her.
I still can't believe it.
You're not the...
Really?
Did you forget?
It was
Yeah? Law.
I was too... That was... But all the...
I know.
Oh?
I used to... And when I... But that's when I...
In other words...
The thing that... All I want...
Not every...
Huh?
It's something... Law.
Yeah.
See how long that would have been. I don't care about what you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? On that level.
I apologize for making you wit.
You mean hearing the origins of...
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away.
Even I'm...
Let's not... I can only...
That's just... when you say...
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in.
So...
And at the same... There is... And the victim...
I didn't
Menancia's... There had been back...
But things...
Indeed. On that note...
Oh?
I wish for you as the one and...
And I...
Yes. However... Is it too much?
No.
You're too...
That's some high...
And I'll ask...
You don't even need...
Thank you.
I mean, like, even just, like, think, fuck
Well...
it.
What about you?
To be honest, I'm... Right now,
How do you mean?
Because for a I thought I would have... It's been It was how it's...
I don't think she... I don't...
Huh?
So...
When we were talking... She's... That...
Forgive...
Yeah. If we have...
You know?
It's not... But if we... I think...
Yeah.
Whoa there, Savior.
Yes.
You see all that? This game sucks.
Well, is everybody ready?
I am. I don't care who we're up against.
What are your thoughts, Alphen?
Like Law said, it's trying to rob
Put this
that
in your
alone. It's
anime.
not only that.
You're saying there's a...
You're referring...
Yeah. And to hear Shion?
Indeed. And if Rena's...
Shion's...
We don't know any...
While the main...
Shion. If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of...
The question is, suffice it to... The wedge...
And we only know about the thorns can...
Heverick 35. It wouldn't ask... Our minds are made up. Let's...
Oh my god. My mind is made up. Oh my god, I can't wait to delete this up.
Let's go give Heverick 35 our answer.
So if the
Even with...
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for.
More importantly, who do they think we are?
I just hope Worst comes to worst.
Wait.
In any case, if we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're...
Right.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renis Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renis Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit, and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational. It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Yes. Yes!
Wait. Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns could be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renis Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing.
Oh my God.
We want to stop Dana from... If all you're gonna...
Alphen.
What you say...
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight...
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena.
So right in...
I have one more. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing...
Hevrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves. To protect what... Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on you finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Hevrek 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to...
Is the Renis Alma really our...
Shion, couldn't we...
I'm not...
Back in...
Except... Besides...
Hevrek...
You're pro...
I know everything I need to know.
I don't need no anything else. Yeah.
You still thinking?
I am.
You're worried about
The fact that our people...
But you...
Well, even as I dream of...
I'm sure you'll...
Now that I think of...
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated, but you changed that. Thanks, of course. But we knew when it comes down to...
That is,
Yeah, it is. But as soon as...
I understand what you're saying. But we're talking about realistically speaking.
Even if we can build a...
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the...
Yes, I do. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't.
Did you just... Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
They're gonna get together. Anyways.
Hey, what?
So I wanted to apologize while I came.
Apologize?
I was being real stupid before. I get why you're... So...
No, Law. Honest, of course you were...
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can...
Yeah, but I think...
Believe?
Remember how I used to really...
Yeah, of course.
When we rescued... It was the first time, then it made me...
So that's why you...
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off...
You will?
There's no way for...
Remember what I... That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of... I sensed it, but...
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will in a way...
What?
Well, like...
Yeah.
Effort 30... But... You know what? So thanks, Rick.
To
be honest, I feel like you and I...
Huh?
Never mind.
Huh? No, what were you saying? Come on!
Anything?
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
That's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
Oh my god. Help me. Alright. One more group of lovers. That's gonna last like a lifetime. That shit is... Make an anime. Make a fucking anime, bro. Like, seriously.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't.
Same as you.
Remember when it was...
Ages and ages.
If I hadn't run into you, I wouldn't have my...
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renus Alma, like Hevrecht 35 said, the only way we can end the... I need you to promise me, Alphen, that you'll use the Blazing Sword to destroy the Great Spirit.
Huh?
It's true, but it's taken...
You can't be...
Listen, the Great Spirit, we don't know what's going to happen when we face it. But we need to be I promise you, I'm not planning on going... But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared.
Okay, but you should know that I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen, okay. So it's a...
Yeah.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always... But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. I don't have words for the shock.
That's because I couldn't...
Even once you could, though, you still chose to... But still, I hate having to see you suffer.
You won't have to worry about that for much...
You think so?
I do, because I...
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone.
Oh my god. You give me that dick. Why you tell me? Why you tell me, Daddy? You know I'll take that dick so
Everybody get
hard.
enough rest? You ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
I think I'm gonna blow that
Can't
back
stand
up,
around
bitch.
waiting all day.
Our task
Or I'll
is
have to kill you with
relatively
the sword.
straightforward.
Whichever, I hope
We need
killing
only
you with the
descend
sword
down to
happens.
Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
But I'm pretty sure.
Then let's go.
Repairs on your starship are
Is that you?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of day.
Sounds like someone's a peepee Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrecht 35 a break.
I have unlocked all functions on
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait,
You'll need to be careful.
So, once we reach the
we gotta go all the way down.
Will all the hell get...
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
Can't that thing like...
Well,
You heard the...
I have one.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist.
We exist because others have entrusted this to...
You mean it is because of multiple chance? Why have you two continued to...
It's hard to explain. All right, time to get back on the forwards.
And I'm sure you're going to explain it to death. Ram it in with a hammer. So hard that most people would not finish the game.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the...
You know what that means.
I guess this means...
It should have ended. It should have been at number 2. Part 2 to this crap. I will never get another Tales of anything. This is off of playing this for the very first time. One of their games for the very first time. I would never do it. I would never buy any one of their games. This is my first and last one. And if this is like a code vein where I don't have to start the game over, I can actually go back down and do some missions and some shit.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is... dead.
Then this must be the Hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is...
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it back.
with nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate. Ever.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying it. Perhaps you'd like the glory of—
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slump?
No, because I said—
Taking an interest is understandable, but
Looks like we're not going—
You think I was— So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the
I'm guessing—
I already— The problem.
in other words,
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly.
If that's the...
We might just be— It won't be—
Oh my god.
Question.
What of the world?
Yeah.
a lot will have to change.
What do you mean?
It's well—
Let's...
Renan,
if only we— Not—
it will take—
There are no—
That's where... Be mad?
Yeah.
I can transport basically anywhere now. Crazy. I almost only one finish this game. You know, I almost want to like, yeah. This game sucks.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Hey!
Is this about dinner last night?
What?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen.
Yeah, they're designed—
Right.
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess?
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say that—
Connect the...
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh.
It would mean...
Not...
Get him, Hootle. Oh!
Hey, Rinwell?
They were kind... I never understood why I had... Needless to say... Of course, if I'd had known that one day... What about your...
Same deal. It got back. And now?
I know how...
The first time...
Yeah,
You don't say...
not really.
Wow.
He was...
That's cool.
Maybe it's...
When it comes to solemnity,
I won't argue.
Indeed.
All I know... Oh, come...
How about...
An unexamined...
Better that.
Kisara...
I could say...
Tell me...
I think...
Like, they don't have enough stupid little scenes, okay? They have too many.
Get lost!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Oh my god, really? For real?
Hootle, I've got...
Forget that.
Hey!
He appears to...
Funny how
It's not...
They...
Well then.
sometimes...
Oh, you little...
Wish I had...
Really?
That's dull. What's go...
What? Come again?
Ow! You know, guy... You can say... Isn't it? Certain...
The only... There's all...
Extra...
What do you mean?
Zoogles are...
You're right.
First...
I hope we find a way to...
It's a nice thought. Aside from...
If we had...
Well...
Literally, is that necessary? I just want to show you the brackets. How ridiculous they are. These stupid, fucking pointless, goddamn cutscenes. I don't even understand why they wasted everyone's time. It's so many. You know? This is like the worst fucking thing I've gone into. It's like, you sons of bitches.
Look out! What the hell is this?
Stay calm, Locke.
So we should be.
You just had to make things difficult for us, didn't you?
What are you muttering about? Focus or you'll get hurt.
Don't worry. I'll have this wrapped up in a flash.
First aid! Lightning orb! The flashing parts are weak points.
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
Wind, get behind me.
Good!
Here, let me
I'll
help.
leave it to you!
In here. First aid! Here's a healing art. Stockpile. Severed Trident! Champion Sword! Now let's go!
And take fucking forever.
Severed Trident!
Demon Fang!
Eat this! Severed Trident! That'll bring you down! Severed Trident!
The flaming knife is yours to be let free!
Here's a healing art! First aid! Here, let me help!
Eternal devastation!
Severed Trident!
Double Demon Fang!
Here's a healing art!
I got it there right now.
Here, let me help! Nothing! Illuminate the charm! Magic is there!
Explosive
No
ray!
more playing nice! Between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of lightning! Lost! Get toasty!
Burn strike! What did I tell you? Don't get...
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Here, let me help! First aid! Here's a healing art!
Flames?
Watch out! It's changing its attack! Here's a healing art!
Blazing flame!
First aid! Here, let me help! First aid! Here's a hard up! Here, let me help!
Off my throat! Take this!
Here's a healing art!
Armor won't save you!
First aid!
These fists have got your name on them!
What the...
You pay for that!
I hope this amounts to more as promised.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Eat this! Resuscitation! Here, let me help! First aid! Here's a healing art! First aid! Here, let me help! First aid! Here's a healing art!
Talon Hurricane!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
I'll finish you here and now!
Resuscitation! Think again! I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
Swordland Alpha!
Leave the charges to me.
Here, let me help! First aid!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
If it's in the sky, it's mine! Winds of heaven! First force! That I never miss!
Destruction!
Zephyr Trident!
I'll smash you!
Sleep now! Zephyr Trident! Lightning Death! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Magic is there!
Ignite!
Resuscitation! A chain between here's a healing art! You're mine! First aid! Here I go! Rising Wyvern! Zephyr Trident! Soaring Leather Fire! Raging Cascade! Now I'm in the groove! Rising Wyvern! Get out of this! Here I go! Let me help! This one's mine! Zephyr Trident!
He's not really too tough now. He's stronger. But no, it's not necessary. The first him to be and fight in the first place. It's kind of my first of all.
Can't be happening.
Fighting something. I love it.
First aid! Here, let me help. First aid! What would I do without you? I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss. I call upon thee. Resuscitation! Deny! Arrest! Down! I'll bring you. I'll be saving this one. Resuscitation! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! Super Swallow Day! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss. What the? Illuminate the dark!
I hope this medicine works.
Here's a healing art! First aid! Field!
Catch it out of
Get on in there with the others! I'll bring you back! I won't! Hey! One at a resuscitation! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss! A whirling struggle! Deny! Winds of heaven! Burst forth! I can feel the medicine working! Watch this! Far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon thee! The First Warden! Tear you apart! I can do this all day! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss! Burn in hell! Resuscitation! Sleep now!
Take this! No, take this!
That'll bring you down! Here, let me help! I'm ready! Be careful not to overdo it.
Time to let it rip!
A chain between here, let me help! First aid! A wailing divine! I'll bring you back from death far enough! I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
No further!
In here! Resuscitation!
Burn in hell!
All disasters may burn! For the helix of purity! Nailed by the power of Christ!
Armor won't save you!
Wind astral energy! Dance in the wind!
Finish it!
Alvin! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
By the power of Christ! Illuminate the dark! Wait! That'll make things easier! Zephyr Trident! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss!
Can't it just make up its mind?
Here, let me help! First aid! Here's a healing art! That'll bring you down!
Nice work!
Here's a healing art! First aid! Deny! Here, let me help! First aid!
Burn in hell!
Zephyr Trident! Let Astro dance in the wind!
In a bind?
Sleep now!
Dragon form!
More for the sun!
Explosive ring!
This one's mine! Zephyr Trident!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Holy Zephyr Trident!
Shockwave strike! Come and get it!
Yeah, halfway now.
It's caught!
Zephyr Trident!
I'm Rising Phoenix!
Time
Trying everything he can to survive. No, he's realizing it now. I'm not fine with him.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Resuscitation!
This one's mine!
I won't give up! I can feel the medicine working. Here, let me help. First aid! Far enough! Zephyr Titan! Zephyr Titan! No further! Zephyr Titan!
Not my fight.
Here's a healing art! First aid! Here, let me help. Don't leave me! Meteor Storm! Resuscitation! I'll bring you back from death's abyss. I'll bring you back from I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
Do you require a hand?
I'm just getting started. Resuscitation! Here's a healing art. First aid! I'm ready!
Now you see what I can do!
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Living up there, not playing that fucking thing. He's like, I refuse!
Do not! Lock! Get toasty!
Bird strike! We're gonna fuck you up!
Wait, where'd the water go?
Nothing goes up this time.
All dried up!
In here! It's so bright!
It's a pain is what it is!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! A whirling struggle! Resuscitation! Ready to go! Zephyr Titan! Raging Cascade! Too much to handle? I can feel the medicine working. Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Resuscitation! I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
It's time!
Dragon Swarm!
Zephyr Titan! Amazing! Not long to go now.
We couldn't have done it without you.
Thanks! Come on! Let's see when we get in there and finish this fight. Resuscitation! I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Resuscitation! I never miss!
No further!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
Nothing gets by me!
Zephyr Titan! Zephyr Titan!
I'm on it! Sword Raid Arcade! Blew away!
Now!
Now I'm in the groove!
They're not playing around! Zephyr Titan!
Inferno Punch!
Zephyr Titan!
Armor won't save you!
You're mine! Sword Raid Arcade!
I'm ready!
Not my fight!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimmer! Holy light! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! A whirling struggle! I can't heal you forever! Ready to go! Raging Where are you going? It's time! Eat this! Divide! Zephyr Trident! Here, let me help. First aid! Here's a healing art! Ford! First aid! Here, let me help. Zephyr Trident! I can carve through armor! Rising Falcon! Solid vortex! Rain down Inferno Punch! Zephyr Trident! Let you all down. I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Ignite! Resuscitation! Zephyr Trident! Now or never! I never miss! I can handle it! Dinar! Zephyr Trident! Armor won't save you! Can't get out of this! Zephyr Trident! Lost! Get toasty! Burn strike!
Fanatic for Night Blossom. Look at that.
What was with that creature? It was some sort of a Zugo that could control light. Rinwell, do you think that could have been...
The true form of the Phantom Flower? No, it couldn't be.
What makes you so sure?
Because...
What the...
Whoa!
What the hell is that? Is the enemy back for more?
Whatever it is, it's freaking huge!
You guys, calm down. It's okay. It's probably... No, it's definitely the Phantom Flower of Navira. I read about it in that book we found earlier. It was described as a mysterious light floating up in the sky. It's not dangerous at all.
Bat, stop looking.
In fact,
get away from the control
this is
every
the
time.
place it was first discovered.
So that's how it got its name then. You sure it's not some enemy astral art being cast at us?
Positive. I think it's just a rare and unusual weather phenomenon more than anything else.
Cyslodia obviously used to be covered in darkness around the clock. But with that gone, I guess that's why we're able to see this again?
You could be right. It's so pretty though, isn't it?
Sure. But it's so big we could have seen it from town just fine, couldn't we?
Well, sure, but still.
Hey, who cares where we saw it? I'm just glad we got to see it at all. Besides, that Zoogle was what kept us from seeing it before, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's such a gorgeous night sky here. You should really bring Shion out to watch it.
Right. Right. I'll, do that.
It took a lot to get here, but I can't help but feel like a dream of mine came true. Thanks, Law.
I didn't do all that much, really.
Well, I still really appreciate it. It made me really, really happy.
Hey, you know
Oh, it looks like you can see it even better from over there. I'm gonna go check it out.
Huh? Hey, wait! Rinwell...
This shall be a feast for the senses.
I still got a ways to go.
Sure is good to be back in the pleasant climes of Menancia. Especially after the extremes of some of the other regions we visited.
Definitely. Your country is beautiful.
You do me an honor. However, this place was never mine to own.
I didn't mean it that way. Native or not, that doesn't change the feelings you had for the place. If I were you, I'd try to take...
Allow myself to feel pride, huh? That sounds like no easy task.
Nothing sounds easy when you overthink things the way you do.
He's always worrying about something. It's probably what gives him his eye for detail.
Yeah, so we'd notice.
Let's change the subject, shall we? Alphen's awakening, Shion's decision to revolt, the Dahnan uprising in Calaglia, the crown contest's final, sputtering throws.
Zephyr's being in the right place at the right time. The fact that you...
It's almost as if...
No, enough Hand of Destiny talk. I do think about...
Honestly?
What the hell makes...
I mean...
Let's refrain.
Not to dull...
Hey, Kisara. What's your secret for putting up with dope?
Secret? Oh, I don't think it...
Could have had me fooled. Anyone who waxes lyrical on the aesthetic qualities of cactus thorns is a step too far.
And those poetic flourishes he sneaks into regular conversation? How am I supposed to react?
He likes the sound of his own voice, that's for sure. I say let him have his fun. No need to try and understand any...
Has he always been like that?
He didn't seem as on edge all the time back in Menancia. Though he was my superior back then. So who's to say what I didn't see?
The Lord of Cislodia hid in plain sight while a crony posing as him carried out all his business.
An imposter? Dohalim? Hardly. Like it or not, that's him all right. In all his flamboyant...
I'd like to see someone try to impersonate that on a...
Come to think of it, what with being a lord and all, he's probably never had anyone to speak to on an equal basis.
It wouldn't surprise me. Having you guys around, having a family in a way, must be what's helped him change.
A little heads up on some of his eccentricities would have been nice.
It's those...
Hey, Alphen, what do you think of that chick over there?
Doesn't look like she really works out.
I'm not talking about her muscle...
We've reached our destination.
We should be able to cook here.
Why are you staring at me?
I could ask the same thing. What do you all say to taking the path less trodden for once?
Path? I don't see any path.
Do you mean that thing that looks like an animal trail? Path may be a generous term. I'm assuming you know where it leads?
My gut says to a bridge.
Hoodle says your gut's wrong.
Really? Well, it is definitely in the right general direction.
Not that main roads are necessarily danger-free, but he does have an uncanny knack for insisting on some strange and unique routes.
Alphen always did like a challenge. Can't say I appreciate some of the more daredevil ways he's taken us, though.
Like the landslide he insisted was a shortcut before disappearing off the edge, nearly gave me a heart attack.
I'll say, yet the intrepid explorer looked...
Probably...
Hey!
Maybe if we pretend...
Don't you think... Good point. Hey, Law. Been
Yeah, I guess I got a little carried...
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine...
I meant in jet...
Huh? Oh,
either that.
May the trot...
You know,
Look, it's not tomboys I...
Hey, I miss anything? Thunderblade! A little birdie told me...
From the looks of it, I'd say you've got your...
It wouldn't be called the Spring of Youth without a little storm every now and then.
Hey,
That's a little...
Sorry, it's just...
I suppose you're right, but then...
I can imagine.
Because of Miguel.
Alphen's still alive. It's not too late, you know. And after all, who can say what the future holds?
Besides...
That's true.
But that...
Don't worry, And you're right.
I'll say. And if it's some...
You might just have a...
Uh-oh.
What?
Good food is the best kind of magic.
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little? I'm surprised to see you up reading.
Oh, it's a book about magic.
I'm impressed.
It's easy, although I hate not knowing.
So that's why you're studying...
Really?
Remember how you...
Sure, but that's because I was still hiding a lot.
Definitely.
Are you saying I used to be like a rock? Well, I used to hate studying magic because but now, I don't... All magic is simply saying it out loud.
I think you have...
What?
I mean, he was...
Nope, he's got nothing to do with it. None. Zilch.
If Law heard that, he'd be pretty bummed, you know.
You're crazy. I don't see why he would be.
Are you saying you rather he wouldn't be? I'd say the fact you can get so worked up about things now is another sign you've changed.
Sounds like someone wants me to put on a little magic show.
All right, all right. I'll take my leave before
I'm not a little kid anymore. Yeet. Though actually, it felt kind of nice hearing that. I wonder why. Ooh. Night, everyone.
Because you want that. He lag.
Another day, another Gald.
And listen, oh my god.
Even after
Renan and...
It's
that might be
unnecessary,
the...
Mom.
Once.
If it's not...
You're right.
These things...
Ruining the game.
What the... A bug? You mean like a Zoogle?
Something tells me she would have shot it, whether it was a Zoogle or...
This realm is... In fact...
Sounds like...
What?
I wouldn't say...
Insects...
Dohalim.
Hey, a lizard! I never thought about that.
Admittedly.
Is it hard?
Oh, you...
Kisara
This is super
spoken like
unnecessary.
a...
This, all this.
Ew!
They really were like, let's waste as much human
So
people's time as much as possible. If you would have watched that, this game would never end. We're going to focus on the game, guys. They're going to learn how to do their fucking jobs.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
These things really get on my nerves.
We've turned the...
This is it!
They got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
An Astro... All yours!
This armor won't save you! Now!
Swallow Blade!
Super Swallow Blade!
Ready to go!
Just getting started!
Demon
Watch
Blade!
your back! Not so snug now!
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I
I
both.
love some anime too, but I would never
Zephyr Trident! Divine Savior!
See what happened there as you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Blazing Blade!
Swallow Dance!
Far beyond the this one's mine! Zephyr Trident! I never miss! Zephyr Trident! The flame now!
I'm not done! Blew away!
Get you off the
Come on! Demon Blade! Sword Rain Alpha!
Take this! Can't get out of this!
Illuminated! Gotcha!
Armor won't save you!
Here goes! I think I'm getting stronger.
This one's tough!
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint, I hear.
No, that'd be silly. The enemy wields arcs too.
You'll soon see about that.
Hey, you okay? I can still do this.
Eat dirt! Zephyr Trident!
I'll finish you here and now!
Wind Astral Energy! I never miss! Dance in the wind! Here, Alphen! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alphen!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Dragon Shout! Here, let me help. Here's a healing arc! I owe you, Sion.
Healing is what my arts do best.
All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction. This is it! Here, let me help. First aid! Here's a healing arc!
We've turned the tables on him.
There are still more left.
No time to
No
hold
more
back.
blade knife! Here, let me help. A chain between heaven and now. Here's a healing arc! First aid! Here, let me help. This is coming in. Illuminated Wind! Magic is in! Holy Lance! Too much to handle? A chain between heaven and earth.
Finish it!
A wailing Banshee!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I need to be stronger.
Finally. If only we could have...
Doing some thinking?
Nah,
Is it a wonder?
maybe. We've got Danans, Renans, a lord, a mage, and even a guy from another time. Yet here we all are, leaning on each...
If anything.
And with...
I've always had a... I figured... I mean...
But now...
Right. I know everyone that
It wasn't swordsmanship.
you see? That's what I'm...
What do you mean?
I mean, you're fine. The bonds that... It's not just one bond.
No, my god.
Guess I'll polish up my sword.
Me too.
It's a maid.
Yeah.
That's why you should...
Huh?
She's right.
Come on. Back in the day.
Exactly.
That definitely...
Dohalim.
Sometimes it was gold.
You didn't shy away.
Although,
Oh?
when I...
You just...
That's us.
You're cooking.
It's...
That is...
I don't know.
Or maybe...
Come on.
Then that...
Becomes
What is it?
irritating,
As we...
annoying, and
By my...
obvious.
She's been...
And yet...
Yeah.
Wait a sec.
I'm what?
Even though it's like kind of optional, the fact that it's there. 3 in a row.
Shion.
Sorry.
I didn't...
You don't need... It's like... And what do you...
It's...
Look, if...
It's because... You're right. I did... This isn't about... Is that a crazy...
No, we can't...
So fucking
I
stupid.
will, at least.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
This shall suffice. Please, everyone.
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little?
Night, everyone. Thanks to you, I was able to rest easy.
Like and subscribe if you like watch my videos. I would appreciate it. Peace out. There's a lot of things I hate about this game. Alright, bye.